Hi, I'm Rick Dior, and that was a solo called Max's Mode from a book by Rich Thompson called Jazz Solos, Volume Number 1. So this is part of a series I'm doing on written out drum solos in several books. And this will be a long series because there's lots of solos I use with my students. So as I explained in the last solo, the first one called Big Sid, I use these solos with transcriptions that my students do to create technique, style, feel. All these things are important for drum soloing and the jazz language. This solo is written in honor of Max Roach. It's obviously sort of a portrait of the Drum Also Waltzes, that kind of thing from that record. And the whole time, except for a few bars early on, the bass drum and the hi-hat are playing this waltz figure. And that remains constant through the whole thing. Now, this can be played at several different tempos. I did it there at quarter note equals 168. In a little while, I'll play it for you even faster at 180. But let's talk about the solo first. So the waltz is a very common jazz form. It's used in lots and lots of tunes. You need to know how to play it. If you just play a regular waltz jazz beat, it could sound like this. The hi-hat can also do this. So it can go back and forth between the and the straight quarter. Another way to think about soloing, if you want to use your bass drum, instead of putting it on the first beat, you can have your hi-hat play all the beats and just open the first one like this. So there you can use the bass drum with the drums to create some real interesting things, as opposed to just having it go boom, chick, chick, boom, chick, chick the whole time. That's just a different way to think about it. But for this solo, that's what it does. Now, there's a lot of technical things contained in this piece, a lot of fast singles that you have to play. I have changed a few of the stickings, so let's talk about that first. The first change occurs in bar 33. And instead of doubles, like he has written, which is this, I'm sticking that as a paradiddle. So I'm always leading with my strong hand. I just feel like that helps me phrase better. So that whole idea of going, that's something that I have my students do as well. You can definitely learn the sticking here, which is of course, all stickings are valid to use. The next bar, which is the third stanza of the second line of the second page, is probably the trickiest part of the solo because you're playing this figure. And you are adding an extra bass drum note there, which adds a layer of complexity to it. So we'll do that slowly for you. And when you speed it up, it sounds like this. And then the second bar uses a crash cymbal. Then at bar 41, we have a series of single strokes. augmented by some paradiddles as well. And this was common back in those days. A lot of these drummers, you know, Max Roach, Philly Joe, even Elvin Jones, were very rudimental in their technique. So they used lots of paradiddle stickings, and those are present in this solo as well. The only other sticking that I change is at 49, where I'm doing a paradiddle-diddle when I play faster. So you'll see in a minute when I do the solo at 180, instead of singles, I'll do a paradiddle-diddle. So let's play it both ways. This is at 168. And if we go to 180, I'm going to do a paradiddle-diddle now. So that just helps me play faster and more relaxed. You could do those singles that fast. It's just kind of stressful. So these kinds of double stickings are possible, and you should use them whenever possible. One more thing, the main theme, which is this, instead of a paradiddle like I'm doing there, you could do singles. So that's perfectly fine. When you play on the toms like that, make sure you're playing legato. So like this, not like this. So you want to just let the stick bounce right off the toms. That's important to let the drum sing. You don't want to hit too hard. All right, so I'll try it for you now at 180. We'll see how it goes. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. It feels good that fast, so don't hesitate to do these at different tempos. So the next solo we'll do will be dedicated to Art Blakey, and just look for that in the future. I'll just play a little for you, and we'll see you soon.